Welcome everyone, Christine here with a discussion about World of Warcraft, Burning Crusade Classic, hints of Classic Fresh, and of course, Shadowlands. Blizzard has finally made the statement about what they're going to do with World of Warcraft in the near future. Now, before I go into any of the details and read their post, I want to say that as far as I'm concerned, at least what they're doing with retail is too little too late. And my feeling is kind of similar about Burning Crusade Classic, though to a far lesser extent. But with retail, it's not going to be enough. But anyway, from Battle.net to the WoW community, over the past few weeks since we shared an update, the WoW team has been focused on the immediate future, both for our people and workplace, and what's next for players too. As part of that, the entire team came together to ask, what are the biggest things we're hearing are getting in the way of your fun, and what are the most meaningful, most impactful changes we can make to WoW today to fix that. Shadowlands update 9.1.5 will be going on the PTR next week, and a lot of what you'll find in it is the direct result of your collective feedback. It includes long asked for changes to make it easier to swap covenants and conduits, updates to make it so you don't need to repeat covenant campaigns on alts, new character customization options for some races that were lacking them, and many more changes to help you play the way you want. It also has updates to improve the game environment for our community, including additional changes to some content to better reflect our shared values, better visibility into the impact of your in-game reports of harassment, and more serious penalties for people engaged in disruptive behavior. We hope you'll see something from your own 9.1.5 wishlist when we post the patch notes next week. And we'll keep listening, refining, and building on that as we continue PTR testing and development what's next. For our Burning Crusade Classic players, we're excited to let you know that the first major content update, Overlords of Outland, will be going live soon. Starting September 15th, you'll be able to take on Prince Kael'thas and Lady Vash in a pair of iconic raids, engage in a new season of arena combat, and more. We're also working on something for WoW Classic players who've told us they like a chance at a fresh start, and we'll be sharing more of our plans soon. Creating WoW is a truly collaborative effort between the people on our team, across Blizzard, and all of you. And as we build, iterate on, and talk about what's next, we hope we can demonstrate our commitment to making Azeroth the best place it can be for everyone. Yeah, that's a nice PR statement. I'll start with Burning Crusade. Interesting that they gave a name, Overlords of Outland, that is, for Lady Vash and Kael'thas. Here's what I think about that. I think they should have had it at launch. I've made this point over and over and over again. The question with the release date is it at a good time? Well, I think maybe at the very start of September, as people are still ending summer, would have been a bad idea. Besides, it's already too late. At least they give people some time, right? They give people a date and give them a bit of time to prepare for the launch. And by prepare, I mean, for those days, for that week where there is going to be progression of tier 5. They give people time for that. They give them a firm date. They know when it's coming out. Now I would prefer a having a release date for this kind of stuff more in advance than just 2 weeks in advance. I think that would have been better, but that's just where I stand. I think obviously a lot of people have been preparing for tier 5 the moment the PTR came out or the moment the PTR got announced, and now that we finally have a release date, plenty of people already, people who still need to do a couple of things, do still have 2 weeks and a half. I think that with Burning Crusade, will it recover from, the slump, the plateau of its player base that it reached? Maybe, maybe not. To some extent, the problem of Burning Crusade Classic is a lot of people are bored. They're tired of doing character role mag every week. But now that people have grinded, they've done the reputations, they've done the gold grind, I wonder how long people will be willing to play when all they have is raid logging. Now, to be fair, I think a lot of quote-unquote dad gamer guilds will certainly struggle to get everything easily on farm in tier 5, but at the same time, I think there's a large swath of guilds, a vast majority of guilds even, that are not going to struggle too much with it. And then what? 4 more months of grinding the raids. I mean, it's going to be better than Gabriel and Mag for certain, but I think the boat has kind of sailed with that. I could be wrong on this. Now, I've said it in the past on this channel, I'll say it again. My suspicion with Tier 5 and their timing with the PTR and all that, my suspicion was that they wanted to originally release Phase 2 of TBC, Overlords of Outland, Vash, Kilfas, SSE, Tempest Keep. They wanted to originally release that at about the same time of New World, but then New World got delayed. So now they're releasing it in the middle of September. They're not going to match the New World release. Maybe they're thinking it would have been too long. Maybe there's something else that I don't know about, some major release, something else important that's coming out. Or maybe they're avoiding the new World release, trying to get out of that freight trains from in front of that freight train that's going to hit them pretty hard. New World is going to hit World of Warcraft, is going to impact it. So I was thinking that, and this was a suspicion of mine and other people, that they were trying to match that. They're not doing so any longer. But either way, Tier 5 is going to come out. It's going to be a better experience than what people have had so far. But I think in some ways, in many ways, it's not going to be enough to revitalize the community. A final thing to say here about Burning Crusade Classic is that the arena season is going to start the day before the raiding tier comes out. This is good because this will give people some time, or not some time, this gives just a window, really, for people to just buy the honor gear. Like, if you haven't stacked up on honor, do so now, because there's plenty of honor gear coming in with Phase 2, or should be at the very least. More honor gear coming in. People should have stacked honor. That will carry over, and arena points will be converted into honor. The arena season will end a week before that, on the 7th, I believe it will end. And so people will have time to, just a brief window. So you're not trying to rush into the raid at the same time that you want to get some PvP gear. Go to the vendor and buy PvP gear. That is actually really good for a lot of people. By the way, I think Burning Crusade is not in a good spot, and I think releasing it now is better late than never, but not enough. Then there is the issue of Classic Fresh, which is what they're heavily hinting on here. At this point, they might as well just outright confirm it, but obviously they're now ready for an announcement. But with Classic Fresh, well, some people are going to say, oh, it's coming too soon, if it's going to come out this year, for instance, later this year. But this seems to be what they're leading to, or at the very least, an announcement later on this year with a full release next year of Classic Fresh. And certainly there are plenty of people that do want to play vanilla again. There are plenty of people who are like, I don't like Burning Crusade, I don't like retail, I want to play vanilla because that's my thing, that's what I'm interested in. And for Blizzard, it solves an issue of lack of content, especially given the state of Shadowlands, the declining player numbers in Shadowlands, the issues that the player base has in Burning Crusade, where it's not declining, but it's certainly plateauing, and it might very well start declining over the next few months. It's a way for Blizzard to keep people engaged and to, more importantly, keep people subscribed. That's what Blizzard wants, because the subscription is shared. So we're likely going to have in the near future, over the next couple of months, maybe half a year, something along those lines, we're likely going to have free versions of WoW running in parallel. And when Wrath of the Lich King comes out, we're going to have 4, maybe 5, I don't know. Burning Crusade Classic Fresh, I don't know. How far down the rabbit hole can this go? Well, pretty far. I've said it before, and I've said it, and I'll say it again. With Classic Fresh, especially with the timing of it, what Blizzard is looking for right now is a win. They're trying to repair their reputation. They're trying to recover with their declining player base. They're trying to stave off the flood of players that are thinking of leaving. Beyond the people that have already stopped playing their games, they're trying to stop more and more people from quitting. Things are not good in Blizzard right now. Things haven't been good in Blizzard for a while. They rushed the Burning Crusade Classic release because of that, because they wanted to their quarter look better than it actually was, and that's where Classic Fresh is going to fit in. How they do it, I've talked about that in a separate video. How they'll do it, that's a different discussion. I have my views on it, plenty of other people have their views on it, but ultimately this is their motivation. At least that's how I feel. Like, that's what I think is driving it from a business standpoint, and these companies are doing these kind of things for business reasons. Then there is Shadowlands, and I could have started with this, but quite frankly, I don't care about retail as much as I do about Burning Crusade or about Classic Fresh. But with Shadowlands, it's like, oh, we're gonna put on this new PTR patch and we're gonna give you everything that you want. We're gonna listen to community feedback this time around, and we're gonna introduce a whole bunch of changes. This is what we want, and please play our game again. Please don't quit playing Shadowlands. Please, please. That's how Blizzard feels right now. I'm sorry, but we've been down this road before, again and again and again and again. How many fucking expansions does Blizzard need to release where they implement a dumbass idea, it blows up in their face, people tell them it's going to blow up in their face, as it did with the artifact power system, for Battle for Azeroth, hell, even with Legion, as did many of the things they ended up doing in Shadowlands, like Torghast. Many people call them out, tell them that these are going to be major fucking problems. Blizzard digs their heels and ignores it. They become major problems for that respective expansion, but then Blizzard's like, oh, guys, we've totally fixed it. We're listening to community feedback. Please play our game again. I'm like, no. Quite frankly, no, we're not complete imbeciles, Blizzard, to just go down this road again and again and again and believe you at your word. Blizzard is desperate. Their reputation is in shambles. We have no reason as players to trust a damn thing they do right now. Plain and simple. Now, if you want to try out the new PTR patch, if you're interested in seeing how that plays out, good for you, right? I certainly don't hate Shadowlands. I'm just bored out of my mind. I just got bored out of my mind. But this list of changes, the things they're talking about doing, or whatever they end up changing, that's not going to be enough. There are many major issues with Shadowlands that can't just be fixed as simply as Blizzard thinks they can. No, this is some attempt to stop the bleeding. The best way I can see it is some attempt to stop the bleeding by saying, oh, we totally care about what the community says. After numerous cases over the years where we spat in the community's face and only did it because we dragged you to do it, and after it blew up in your face, as the community said it would. Now, the community isn't always right. The customer isn't always right. Let's be very clear on this. Some of the community ideas, in fact, many of the ideas the community has, can end up blowing in Blizzard's face just as easily as some of the stupid shit that they do. But here's the thing. When people play the fucking game, on a PTR, on a beta, recognize something is going to be a problem. They play a lot. You know, hardcore players, people who are really invested in beta, they figure out something's going to be a problem. They tell Blizzard, Blizzard ignores them, and then guess what ends up being a problem? This happens multiple times, and then Blizzard fixes? Yeah, that's genuinely frustrating, and we've been down this road before, as I have said, multiple times, multiple expansions. Why should we believe for a second that Blizzard's intentions are good? Why should we believe that they're not going to do this stupid crap again, where they have some bright idea, they implement it, people discover it's bad, and Blizzard digs their heels in because Blizzard can't be wrong, because Blizzard is made up of arrogant assholes at the end of the day. There's a lot of people in Blizzard, clearly, that have made a bunch of stupid decisions. They were called out on it, they dug their heels in, refused to admit that those were stupid decisions, and now they're trying to redeem themselves. No, we're not buying it. Quite frankly, that's where I stand with 9.1.5. Shadowlands is finished. The expansion has no hope of redemption. The best thing Blizzard can do right now with Shadowlands, finish it as quickly as you can. Finish your stupid storyline that no one really cares right now, except to just laugh and cry at how horrible it has been so far. Finish that, move on. Whatever happens, be a maintenance mode, as whatever stupid rumor suggested, or the next expansion, because there is no redemption for Shadowlands. Plain and simple. Finally, what I'd like to say is that nothing that they're doing here is honestly of any interest to me personally. This is just on a purely personal level. Obviously, a lot of people disagree with me. People can play whatever they want. They don't need me holding their hands. I have no interest whatsoever in going back to Shadowlands. I played quite a bit. I did Nafria. I did Mythic Dungeons. I have no interest in their new raid that they released in 9.1. I have no interest in picking up that game right now. Just plain simple. Maybe the next expansion, maybe. A big maybe. But you know what? I quit WoW, and I'm enjoying my time away from it. The only thing that is of personal interest to me is Classic Fresh, and the only reason behind it is that nostalgia is a hell of a drug. The truth is that vanilla World of Warcraft has some very iconic bosses and leveling locations even. leveling through Elwyn, Westfall, Redridge, and Duskwood is one of the best experiences that I actually had in WoW, while, you know, starting a new character. It is a pretty solid leveling experience, and I might just want to do that again. But that's kind of my limit. I don't have any version of World of Warcraft installed, and I have no interest in picking up again. Like with Burning Crusade, why would I? Why would I subject myself to gold grinding, reputation grinding, PvP grinding to get my character to the level I want it to be, when I know I'm gonna blast through the raids? And I've already beaten those raids, not just on retail or private servers, but on classic, on the PTR. I've done vast majority of SSC and TK, not all of it, I admit, but I don't care. I've seen Kel'Thas and Vash. I know what those bosses are like. And for me personally, they're not the best bosses in the history of the game. They're not the most interesting aspects about those raid instances, honestly. I vastly prefer doing Alar or doing the SSC trash than doing Kel and Vash. At least as a tank, as a DPSer, I'm sure you know, my perspective would be different. People's mileage may vary on this subject, but yeah, I'm just not interested. I would have been interested if Tier 5 had been in the game at launch, because yeah, you would have had the grind regardless, but while doing the grind, you would have also been doing raid progression. That's infinitely more interesting than having to do months of grinding and then, ooh, we get the new raiding tier. Yeah, great. That will blast through on the day it comes out, because we've already done it on the PTR, because any decent guild has already done it on the PTR. That's where I stand on the issue personally. I'll keep talking about World of Warcraft, I'll keep playing Blizzard games. Diablo is what I'm interested in right now, but I'll see what the future holds. I am simply not interested in playing any version of WoW right now. Maybe Classic Fresh, and that's a big maybe, and depends when it comes out and what is out there at that time. Maybe, maybe not. That's personal opinion, but I'll keep making videos. I'll keep discussing Activision and Blizzard and all the issues they have. And look, any good things that they do. I think Diablo 2 Resurrected looked pretty good on the beta. It did have some server issues, absolutely, but the way the game looked, the way the game played, the way the game felt, yeah, that was pretty solid. The way the cinematics were done, it's like, imagine if Warcraft 3 Reforged had those cinematics, but that's a discussion for another time. Costin here signing out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and enable notifications, and stay tuned for more.